Okay, hello, hello, hello. This is the 52nd episode of the Mental Threads podcast. I'm here with Gunnery Sergeant Mike Knox, correct? I want to make sure I got your title correct. Am I correct, sir?
That's correct.
All right, cool. Would you like to say anything, Mr. Michael Knox?
Well, not really. I mean, you can ask me whatever you'd like to ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions for you.
It's just like, for this episode, it's a very special episode. I didn't realize like I'd actually like find time to actually actually interview an actual black veteran and everything. You've actually fought in wars. You've actually seen a whole lot of stuff and everything. Being a black man in this country, it's already pretty traumatizing enough as it is. So just compound that up with actually fighting in wars and everything. How would you like to describe the experience? Dive into But yeah, matter of fact, before we even touch that, let's start with like where it all starts from the beginning. You were born Michael Knox in what year?
I was born May 21st, 1953.
Oh, okay.
In Warren, Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Warren, Ohio. And how long have you spent time in Warren, Ohio?
I was there from the time I was brought home to the hospital shortly after my date of birth until I graduated from high school and entered the Marine Corps in 1970. I actually went to boot camp in 1971 at Parris Island. Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina is where I went to boot camp at. And I went there from May 28, 1971 until August 9th, 1971. When my platoon graduated, actually my series graduated. Series comprises 4 platoons, 4 recruit platoons, and that makes a company. And we graduated that company that day. It was a Monday. I'll never forget it. It started drizzling rain. And we had our graduation ceremony in the Depot Theater at MCRD. We didn't have it on the parade deck, which is normally the custom. You have a parade out there, but ours was held inside the theater because it was raining outside. Mm-hmm.
Held right inside the theater because it was raining outside. Yeah, that's crazy. I know, trying to go into the Marine Corps and everything. It's not no easy feat, not at all, and everything.
No,
not even the slap.
Imagination.
But if we had to speak on just the process altogether, I know they had to teach you like basic combat, how to shoot a weapon, stuff of that nature. If you would go into detail on the process it is to become a full-fledged Marine, you're free to discuss that.
Okay. Well, boot camp comprises about 16 weeks of actual training. You've got T days. They're divided into T days, and you must complete every training day that's afforded to you in the recruit training, so you can learn how to become a basically trained, physically fit Marine. There's certain things you have to do. You have to learn close order drill. You have to learn the manual arms. You have to learn the nomenclature of weapons. You have to be able to disassemble and assemble them, and you have to name each part. You have to know that weapon like you know your own body, and you're entrusted to keep it clean and care for it for the 16 weeks you spend in recruit training. You're assigned that weapon, and you're responsible for that weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Oh, that's crazy and everything. So you basically have to pretty much.
Crazy. They do it for a reason.
I meant like crazy, not like saying the process is crazy. Just meaning just just knowing that there's so many different aspects of having to get into the Marine and everything that casual people don't know and everything. There's different parts. Some people go into the Air Force. Some people just go into the Army and stuff of that nature.
Well, Marine Corps has its own aviation arm. The Marine Corps has fixed wing aircraft. We have fighter jets and attack aircraft, and we also have helicopters. I've been both in the fixed wing Marine squadrons as well as helicopter squadrons in the Marine Corps. Yeah. That's what I did. When I went to Naval Air Technical Training Center in outside of Memphis, Tennessee, in 1971 after I finished boot camp. I was there for like 3 more months going through ADJ school, ADR school first. It's reciprocating engine mechanic. school, and they teach you how to teach all the combustion cycles for that type of radial engine, and they teach you how to take it down and put it back together and all that kind of stuff. Do anything you need to do as far as engine maintenance. And they taught us a lot about aircraft, what the front end is called and what the ass end of it is called, the empennage, with the tail section, the vertical stabilizer, and the two and the horizontal stabilizer. They teach you all about that, the landing gear and all the systems and controls aboard aircraft and helicopters and stuff like that. It's a lot to learn, but I was enthused with it. And I was glad to learn it. I soaked it up like a wet sponge.
Okay, so you pretty much caught on to the all the responsibilities and all the quirks and necessities that came with being in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so it's just like, I know it's just like we all have different interests and what leads us to do many different things. I wanted to hold the whole podcasting thing because, it started off as a thought, an idea in my head. Right. And I just had to seek out to realize it, Now it's like, this is my 52nd episode. It's just a part of me now, okay. Along with my music and everything. But it's like, what?
Second nature to you.
I wouldn't say second nature. I was like, I had to be disciplined to really step out and actually go out and actually like interview people like I'm doing now.
Oh, yeah.
And, it just takes a whole lot of like making time to do so, trying to pick out whether the interviews is something you want to keep or not and everything. Sometimes I have friends that get on and like they do certain things and like they incriminate themselves. And then it's just like, now I'm at a position where it's like, dude, should I even post that episode and everything? Because it's just like, you don't want this stuff to come back and bite you in the back. Years later, it's just like, hey, you said this. And it's just
you'd
like,
be surprised the number of African Americans there are in the Marine Corps today. Even when I was in the Marine Corps, some almost 30 years ago, there were a lot of African Americans who were Marines. I knew quite a few guys from all across the United States, and I served with them overseas and in the States, continental United States. But some of those men are retired today, like I am. They finished their careers and they retired from the Marine Corps. Like I've got a good friend named Arnold Powers. He lives in Arlington, Texas. He's originally from Dallas. Arnold retired as a Master Sergeant, E8. Plus he worked for the IRS for like 16 or 18 years. And he got a retirement from the IRS as well. He makes considerable sum of money right now today.
Yeah, I mean, you work for IRS, like those are some scary individuals you're working for, man. Right. I know everybody fears the IRS, man.
Yeah,
gotta pay your taxes on time.
Right.
But it's just like, well, if we had to go back on interest and everything, everyone has a certain drive to what kind of pushes them to do whatever they want to do and everything, It's like, what is the main reason or main like drive that pushes you into like wanting to join the Marine Corps overall?
Well, what really got me going was I remember President Kennedy's inaugural speech, when he was inaugurated as president in January 1960 or 61 when he assumed office, And I remember him saying, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And those words, they just burnished in me, and I always want to do something for my country, and I figured the Marine Corps was the best way to go for me, and that's why I chose the Marine Corps. Yeah.
And what are the subtle differences with the Marine Corps and conclusion with the Army and the Air Force that just made you think, I prefer the Marine Corps out of all these other divisions?
Well, I liked my recruiter's bearing. I liked the way he wore his uniform, how he looked in his uniform. I just liked everything about Marines. I always have. The first time I ever saw a Marine recruiter, I knew I wanted to wear that uniform. And one day I did,
So you had to kind of manifest it in a sense, just like, I got to be that. Something about that just was calling out to me.
I just wanted to do, man. I just had to be a Marine.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the main thing that drives all of us, man. It's just like even with my whole music thing, although it's just kind of lagging right now. I only dropped like 12 songs last year. Like, yeah, that's a lot better than most people, but it's like
Oh
it's
yeah.
just not ideal for me. I kind of just thought as soon as I got out of high school, I'd just be on it. Just like maybe like a couple songs every year, and then just add it up, add it up. Now I'm at a crossroads where I'm trying to get to 50 songs this year
Oh, you will.
somehow
You'll make it.
after I get my whole legal situation set up out the way and everything. But it's just I just see it as just another challenge in life.
Oh yeah.
Nothing is gonna hold me back from doing what
That's
I
right.
need to do.
That's right.
It's just really just a matter of disciplining myself to really.
Starts with a dream.
Yeah.
You have to imagine something before you can bring it into fruition. And if you want something bad enough, first you'll imagine it, and then you'll plan on how to obtain that, whatever it takes. Whether it requires more education, whether it requires going out and pounding on doors, ringing doorbells. I mean, whatever the case may be, once you put that plan in motion, you don't stop until you achieve your goal and go beyond that goal. First, you got to achieve it, and then you've got to be fruitful in it.
Definitely got to be fruitful in it for sure, for sure. And it's just like I know, like we all do seem to go through a whole lot of stuff in this country as black men. It's just like, and considering how you're born in the '50s and stuff, and you joined the Marine Corps in the '70s, I assume that you had to face a whole lot of like racist stigma that you had to face and obstacles, as a black man in the Corps. Is it true or is it not
There,
true?
there were some racist incidents. Damn few. Damn few. I can recall one incident that happened aboard Camp Pendleton, Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton, California. Uh, it happened in a unit aboard Camp Pendleton. It wasn't the unit I was assigned to, but it happened at Camp Horno. Camp Horno was where the First Marines are headquartered at. That's a small part of Camp Pendleton, Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton. It covers 122 square miles. It's the largest amphibious base in the world. And it was right on a beach, too. You can look right over some of the hills aboard Camp Pendleton and Camp San Onofre. You can look right over Interstate 5 and you can see the Pacific Ocean and the beach. Oh, yeah. Ships passing out there on the water. Cars driving up and down the freeway. You can actually see it from there. But what happened was they had some racist white Marines in the unit, and I guess the black Marines didn't like it. Some of the things they were saying and whatnot, and they had a beef with them. And one night they caught one of the white guys alone in the barracks, and they killed him. They stabbed him with the bayonets.
They killed him? Like, their own Marine brother? I know it's just like, they're on the same team, though, so I wouldn't, they just killed
Stabbed
him.
him, took their bayonets and stabbed the guy.
Wow. Did they get any repercussions for that?
Yeah, with a lot of repercussions. 13 of them got court-martialed, and they were transferred to various posts throughout the Marine Corps. I don't know where they all sent them all to, but, one day they were at Camp Pendleton, the next day they were gone.
Wow. That seems like something that escalate very quickly, and like how often would that happen? Like Marines, offing other Marines and stuff.
Well, it happened once before in 1969 at Camp Lejeune here in North Carolina, east coast of North Carolina.
Was it also race related?
Yeah, some white guys, have been badgering the black Marines and stuff. And back then, Marines kept their weapons in the barracks with the slings attached to the end of their rack, their beds, their bunks. That's where they were kept, but they were kept unloaded. Somehow or other, some of those brothers had got some live rounds in the barracks. And I guess some of them had already loaded some magazines. And they locked and loaded one Sunday afternoon after chow. They came back from chow, they got their weapons, and they went out in the company street. And they were marching toward these white guys who were also in the street. They were unarmed, but black Marines had their M14 rifles. And most of them were locked and loaded, It could have gotten very bad, very ugly. It could have turned real ugly had not the military police arrived and they quelled it and had those black Marines take their weapons back to the barracks. Actually, they had them secure them in the armory. And I'd take them to the armory and get them turned in and secured for the night.
And that's really hectic, man. It's like I know we all have to face, you have to seriously face a lot of racism day to day and everything, but this just have so much intensity that you take another life.
I mean, that was just 2 incidents that I recollect. That happened in the Marine Corps. It didn't happen over the course of my career. One of the incidents happened before my career even began. One of them happened during my career, but incidents like that are few, far, and in between. That's a rarity.
Oh, so it's kind of a rarity for these races.
It's a rarity.
But they do happen though, still.
Yeah, stuff like that happens from time to time.
But nothing that you got involved in.
No.
You ain't got to speak on it if you don't want to. So it's like, all right, well, that's. I mean, at least your experience a little bit more. I don't want to say kinder in a sense, but it's just like it's never really pushed you to the point where you had to take.
No, I had to draw a weapon on another Marine one time when I was at Marine Barracks in Subic Bay, in the Republic of the Philippines. This corporal, he couldn't control his troops, his squad. He had a squad of black Marines, and they were giving Corporal Lee hell this one morning. I had a red light moving. I was sergeant of the guard, and I had to go up there to the Naval Magazine, the lower compound where their quoted guard and their racks were at, where they stayed bunked at up there for the 24 hours they were on duty. And I got up there about 7:30 that morning. The red light movement was supposed to take place at 0800. That's 8 a.m. So I go into the corporal guard's room, and I'm standing there talking to the corporal guard, who's seated behind his desk. And I notice he's got the weapons locker open, the sun locked, so they can come in and get their weapons, and two magazines of 5 rounds each go outside the clearing barrel, clear their weapons, and load a magazine of 5 rounds in the butt of their weapon and holster it, close the flap. Well, Corporal Lee happened to come in. I asked Corporal Lee, I said, where's your men at? Are they up and ready to go? He goes, not yet, Sergeant. I said, what do you mean, not yet? I said, you better get them motherfuckers up and get them dressed and get their ass out on the road, because we got a red light movement in about 15 minutes. You better get their ass in the gear and get them moving. So he left and he went back. He came back and he got his weapon. He drew a .45 caliber automatic pistol, 2 magazines. And I didn't think nothing of it. I figured he's got his guys up there getting dressed, getting ready to come out, and he's going out to the clearing barrel to clear his weapon and put a clip in it and holster it. Didn't think nothing of it. Well, I didn't know he went back in the damn barracks, and next thing we heard was a gunshot. And I'm like, what the fuck? And the corporal guard jumped up from behind his desk, and he was running out through the hallway before I could even turn. And I was following him, and I happened to draw my weapon and chamber around, and it was locked and loaded then. And the corporal guard had already gone through the hatch that led into the barracks room, and he already walked through that hatch, and he was standing over to my right as I entered. When I walked in, I looked down between the racks on both sides, and I could see Corporal Lee standing at the rear hatch with his back to the door. And I could see a spent shell casing on the deck, just in front of his feet. And he had a weapon up like this across his chest. And I could clearly see the hammer was cocked to the rear. And I saw that spent shell casing on the deck, so I knew he had another round in the chamber. And at least 5 more rounds or 3 more rounds in the magazine. And I aimed my pistol at Corporal Lee's chest. And I told him to put the weapon on the deck. but he had like a 2,000-yard stare in a 50-foot space. It's like he was looking someplace. I don't know. He wasn't there. He wasn't there mentally, physically either. His mind was like gone, you know. And Corporal Rowland, another Marine, walked over on the starboard side of the barracks and walked all the way down to the end behind the racks and came out, and he took the weapon. He said something to Corporal Lee. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but he reached up and he placed his hand on the muzzle of the weapon, and I guess Corporal Lee relinquished it, and he let him take it out of his hand. Because had he not done that, had he pointed that weapon or made any move to point that weapon, I would have shot him.
Dang.
I would have shot him.
Yeah, man.
I would have shot him dead.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how, like, day to day, like, y'all pretty much are familiarized with death. Like, some people have never even, like, you know, shot a weapon.
Yeah, well.
Like, they go their whole lives not even shooting a weapon.
I know.
And it's like you're immersed with actually holding a weapon, taking a life, and stuff of that nature. I mean, when it comes to, like, really, you know, taking a life, though, it's just, like,
something that, you know, I don't even think about. I don't even think about that.
Don't even think about it?
No.
Just let it go?
Now when it comes to life and death, somebody's trying to
take your life away, guys.
Take my life or take another one of my fellow Marines' lives and place him in mortal danger. That person's got to go. Give a fuck who it is.
That person's got to go.
Got to go. Something like that.
Would you say, like, would you really keep count of, like, all the lives you've taken? Or is it just, it is what it is?
It is what it is.
You don't even keep count of it?
No, it is what it is.
Do you even remember faces anymore?
No. Nope.
Wow.
It is what it is. I wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, you trying to hurt me, and if I get to drop on you first, damn it, you gonna bite the dust. It's simple like that. You got to go. You got to go.
Got to go, man. That's crazy.
I don't give a fuck. It don't matter to me. It don't matter at that point. You're trying to kill me. Well, I'm gonna be seriously thinking about killing you too.
No, I can understand.
Be careful where you point the muzzle of that weapon. If you point it anywhere near me, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm going to pull the trigger on your ass. And you will drop. I'll make sure of that.
Yeah, and there ain't nothing more to fear than an old, I don't want to say old, oh, you're old and everything, but yeah, I've lived an extended life and everything. You've pretty much lived past all this stuff. So it's like, you know, would you say that you're kind of blessed or divinely protected, or is it just like you just know your stuff and everything?
It's a combination of a lot of things. I definitely know my stuff, but I think good Lord affords me sense of protection. I know He's always been there in the troubled times and the storms and whatnot. He's always been there. He's always been there to help me and give me courage and guide me, you know. So, I mean, that's just where it's at for me, you know.
Yeah, man, I could feel that.
I don't worry about the outcome of things too much. I really give it a second. I don't give it a second thought. You know, if I find myself in the fire, you know, at some point or other, I know how to get through it because I've done it so many times before. I don't know how to get through it.
Yeah.
Some things just happen intrinsically. You know it intrinsically, without question. You know these things deep down inside of you.
I can feel that. I can feel that a whole lot, man. It's just like, I know it's like, you know, even with black men in this country, we all suffer from PTSD, whether if like we know it or not.
Oh yeah.
You know, I especially suffer from PTSD over.
Been traumatized.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like your PTSD is a lot more like severe and everything, whereas mine is just more. I don't want to see like compare like, you know, PTSDs or whatever, because, you know, mentally it just comes with just being a black man at this point. Like, we all been through some type of traumatic experience or something that's just some scenario that kind of replays in our head over and over and over again. And, you know, I guess it's really just we might do some things day to day to try to manage and try to like keep our minds off of like whatever might have happened to us in the past. Like, how could you say you manage your PTSD, sir? You know, how do you describe your PTSD like in your own words?
Well, I've had nightmares. Woken up in the middle of the night with fits of, I guess, just fear, where, like I walked out on the deck one night aboard the USS Iwo Jima, just minutes after a Navy second-class radio man got hit in the chest with a chunk of a rotor blade. He killed him. He was dead. And they were hustling him down to sick bay, the medical.
Wow.
I'll never forget that. Helicopter crashed in front of the number 2 gun mount on the forward part of the ship. It was during a nighttime vertical replenishment exercise. This helicopter was flying off. This Navy ship was running alongside of us in the Mediterranean. At nighttime, both ships steaming at their normal speed, pacing each other. But the one ship was a supply ship, and they had helicopters on board loading our supplies aboard the helicopter, and they would take off and fly around and come aboard and land on our ship, offload their cargo, take off and go back to their ship, pick up another load. However many times they needed to do that until we replenished all our stores. But the pilots didn't take off right. They didn't take off over the port side of the ship. They tried to take off over the starboard side of the ship. When they did that, the plane had to roll. The helicopter had to roll right. And they hadn't picked up enough airspeed to lift. And one of the rotor blades started hitting the the gun mount. It struck the gun mount first. And I guess it probably struck the deck too. And a piece of that rotor blade broke off and it started flying in all directions and killed Santa Fe over in the catwalk area below the bridge, and chunk of that rotor blade hit him in the chest.
That's a lot, man. Oh, hold on a second. Is someone calling me?
People dying.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta take this one. But back on like managing your PTSD and everything. So it's like, what do you do like in order to like manage it? Some people like to meditate.
I like to listen to music.
Oh, so listen to music is where you're safe space.
Music. I like to read. I'm reading this book by W.B. Du Bois, The Souls of Black Folk. It's a very interesting read, man. It's about what was going on after the Civil War in America, and how black people were trying to struggle to move up, and have a voice in society, which all that was suppressed, around 1899 with Plessy versus Ferguson, Supreme Court case which abolished equal treatment under the law. That's when they made separate but equal the law of the land. And then they entered Jim Crow in the South, which spread throughout the United States. And, you couldn't so much as look at a white person. If a white person was walking down the sidewalk and they were approaching you, you best step off the sidewalk. I don't give a fuck if it's mud down there, horse shit or what. You better step off the sidewalk and get on white people right away on that sidewalk. And you never looked a white man in the eyes. Never. You always had your head bowed, looking down.
It's crazy how time was back then, man. I swear.
That's what he was back
it's like now it's like my brother dates a white woman, like right now, and it's just like.
I ain't got time for that bullshit. I'm not putting up with it either.
Well, you gotta keep in mind this is like a modern
I'm not putting up
podcast.
that bullshit, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you don't have to, and I'm not going to, period.
Yeah, because I know you went through a whole different time, so you had to.
That bullshit. Fuck that.
Yeah, for me, I always see myself like, marrying like a black woman and everything like that. That's the only way I can see it, because it's like I feel like a lot of the traumas I had been through, in society and everything, I feel like the only way I can heal is like with a black woman. I feel like, that's the main thing. Like, I don't want to say like, oh yeah, it's just like, oh, we have to understand each other and we have to do this, but it's just like.
A lot of nice black girls out here, man.
Yeah, especially in college. Yeah.
Damn right, looking for somebody, man.
Yeah, man.
A whole bunch of pretty girls out here.
Yeah, but it's like,
If you want
But it's just like, I guess this generation's kind of messed up. I don't want to say messed up because it's like it's kind of we're just
A
focused
lot of
on the
people are
next
lost
thing.
because they're ignorant. They're ignorant of the truth. And if a lot of people knew the truth and they knew more about their history, their own history, they'd be 10 times better off than they are right now. Because a lot of people are just ignorant to the truth of the matter. They're ignorant about their history. They're ignorant about a lot of things that have happened in this country and things that are still going on in this country. And I think without a knowledge of your history, you're damn likely to repeat it.
Yeah, I mean that's a true statement. True statement, but it's just things always change and everything. I'm not saying it's just like it changes your narrative and stuff because it's just there's always some other weird obstacle that's coming up.
Though.
Truth is the truth.
You can't discard the truth because the truth is always going to shine. The truth is always going to stand firm against all lies and any kind of outside material influence or whatever. The truth is the truth, man. Unless you have a good foundation of truth and knowledge of the truth, you're not going to get anywhere. That's just about the size of it. God wrote the book, not me.
No, true thing, man. It's just like
You can't hide the truth under a lampshade. You can't hide the truth. You can't cover the truth with darkness. Because truth has a way of rising to the light.
no matter what.
Truth is always going to find the light. It's going to see the light of day. That's why it's called truth.
For sure, man. For sure.
Right.
And the crazy thing, it's crazy that you mentioned W.E.B. like Du Bois and everything. I come from an HBCU, so we're always talking about like Booker T. Washington's how he dealt with things, and how it kind of clashed with W.E.B. Du Bois and everything. Which side do you pretty much take of it? I feel like they're both kind of important in their own way. Just like we have your Malcolm X and your MLK and everything and stuff of that nature. It's just like it's
Washington
just
Carver was good, for one thing, but his big thing was about agriculture. He wanted the black man lift himself up by a bootstrap and become a farmer. And give a damn whether you work for a white man or not in the South. But he wanted you to return to farming. W.E.B. Du Bois wasn't about that farming shit. He wanted you to get an education. And I think that's a smart thing. That's the smartest thing that ever could have been said. Black man, get your education first, and then decide what you want to do with your life. And we all wasn't cut out to be farmers.
That's true. That's very, very true and everything. Some of us aren't made to be just, sitting doing it for agriculture and stuff of that nature. Some people are just, they're more creative. Some people are more mathematical and stuff of that nature.
That's right.
We all just fit in society where we fit in.
There
Some
you
people
go.
are more well spoken. Some people are more street smart, and they're able to like just apply common sense. And some people apply critical thinking to certain matters and stuff of that
That's
nature.
right.
But in Booker T's sense, it's just like, in a sense, you could get your education and everything, which I'm more like a W.E.B. Du Bois kind of guy on that end. Because, you got to be self-aware.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be taken advantage of and everything.
right.
Whereas, like, for Booker and everything, I feel like the positives from what Booker's argument is, it's just like, at the same time, you got to learn certain skill sets and everything and kind of build yourself up in general. Always good.
He wanted people to have an agricultural education. You had to know something about farm implements. You had to learn about seeds and planting and harvesting and all that kind of stuff. That's what he wanted people to be educated about. The women, they learn how to cook and keep house and, iron and stuff like that. They learn women's things, how to sew, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but the men, they learned the farm work. That's what he taught them in his industrial schools. I don't think that would have been a life for me, man.
Yeah, man, it's just too stagnant. It just doesn't seem like much of a future after that, Like, generation, all we do is just farm and cook, and that's it.
There's more things in the world than that.
Yeah, man,
That's one reason why I decided to leave Warren, Ohio when I graduated from high school. I knew I wasn't going to work in no steel mill. And I wasn't going to work in no damn factory.
Yeah, man.
No, fuck that.
Couldn't do it,
I
man.
want to see
Couldn't
the
work.
world, man. I want to see faraway places. I want to experience other cultures and see different things. And I think that's what attracted me more than anything else to the Marine Corps.
Oh, yeah, man. I can feel that. That's actually pretty cool. That's another cool entrance and everything. Y'all do get to travel, and that's one of the main things I want to put on my bucket list. Is the travel. Hopefully, me and my father can set me up with like a passport for sure, man. I definitely want to return back to my homeland of Liberia for sure.
Oh yeah.
And everything. I know I went to spiritual guys to say it's always going to be a good experience and stuff of that nature, and it's definitely something I should look forward to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And stuff of that nature, Sarge. I'm usually asleep this time of day, but it's just like I'm still trying to like keep up and everything, you know.
Oh, that's okay. I'm
yeah.
sitting there watching you.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's just stuff like that. I want to be able to probably visit maybe the Bahamas, St. Croix, stuff of that nature. You know, it's just really see the world myself and everything. That's why I really wanted to go into business too, because it's just like I did an episode with my grandfather the other day, and he actually told me something I didn't really know. See, in Liberia, it's not just us Liberians, then other people in Africa, like Lebanese people and stuff of that nature. There'd be people out like Koreans that come through, and also Mexican folk that come through. Also, just because like we have so many different resources, and that it's just like they kind of work together with the plan. And I didn't know that. So it's like my grandfather actually met people of different cultures, like Mexicans and stuff, before he even came to America and stuff. I didn't even know that. But they don't try to discuss that stuff with you in school and stuff like that. They always want to make it seem like, oh yeah, that we're like dirty and stuff like that.
I used to date a Mexican girl when I was attending Arizona Western College in Yuma, Arizona.
Oh, cool. How'd that go?
Border Patrol. Well, she was 19 years old. I was about 28, 29.
Okay. Still legal. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's legal. But I met her aunt and her uncle who lived in Yuma off of 16th Avenue. And they welcomed me to their home anytime, you know. They knew I was on the Border Patrol. But Anna, her name was Ana Maria Gonzalez. I met her in a class out there I was taking, and we met and started talking, and they said, you know, I was hitting that booty, man. Hitting it. Banging it, man. I fell in love with that girl, but she wanted to go home and visit. And I drove her back to Mexico. We crossed the border in my car. I was a Border Patrol agent. I was off that weekend, though. And I drove her down towards Tucson, and we took the southern road that led down to Ajo, Mexico. And once we crossed the border to Mexico, we drove her home in Puerto Peñasco or Rocky Point. And her father was like he was like a home builder. He built homes and stuff for people. He had a nice home down there. And I met his father, I met his mother, her sisters. I don't know if she had any brothers. And we were coming back, and they had to cross the port of entry. And a customs agent asked to pull over. So I had to pull over in the secondary. And they came up to the car and asked for see identification and stuff. And I showed them my shield, you know, and my Border Patrol ID. And they asked for Anna's paperwork and stuff, and she didn't have anything. So they asked her to step out of the vehicle, and I said, no, man, wait a minute. That's my girl, man. I got to take her back home, man. Well, sir, she's not a citizen of the United States. I knew that, but I had to go inside the station and talk them guys into not arresting her and letting her leave with me, and they allowed her to go. But, you know, it created a kind of a little stink, you know, in my sector office. I got called in. I was being investigated. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, you know, like Mexican girls, especially like that, was like this is they have a way of like showcasing like maybe like a fond chapter in one's life for sure. I know, like I want to say it was like a fling, but let me just say maybe it was like a little bit of a connection back when I was working at. Yeah. I bet she was, and like this was crazy that you mentioned that because I was really just thinking about this girl in my life, like, but it was so long ago. Like I'm about to turn 24 very soon. Like, you know, I met her back when I was 17, so that's 7 years ago. That's like it's crazy how time flies by. But I was just thinking about her. It's just like how we're working at Compare Foods, and it's like, man, like maybe something could have came out of it. you know. But it's like, you know, I was the only black kid working at that Compare Foods, and it was not pretty, man. All the racism, man. I didn't know Mexicans were racist until I started working at Compare Foods. I'm pretty sure. I think you might have seen it. That same Compare Foods next to Taco Bell and everything. No.
I don't ever shop to Compare Foods.
Never do?
No.
Okay, well, I mean, if you see a grocery store called Compare Foods near on, I think, Sharon Amity. Is it on Sharon Amity? Yeah, it's on Sharon Amity. They drive and everything. I used to work there. I used to walk there, take the bus there when they had a bus coming through this neighborhood. I used to take the bus just to go there and everything. You know, it's like this one, you know, she's very beautiful, very, very fine. But it was like there was this other Mexican guy on my job too. It's just like he kind of just felt some type of way about me, like talking to her and everything. But it's like, yay, man, she had a car and everything.
You trying to get in the pants too? I'd have beat him to the cut, man.
Well, it was kind of tough for me.
Where you fit in, bro.
It was tough because it was just like, you know, like everybody kind of sided with him on the job, and people just didn't mess with me on the job. You know,
you talking to her first, man. You go and get the pussy, man. That's what you do. Shit.
I mean, we did get along and everything a lot, but it was just like, you know, I didn't speak the language and everything, and it's just like it's kind of racist. That's a problem too. Yeah, I didn't speak Spanish, so it's just like people would just like probably like fry or just try to ridicule me and everything on the job and everything.
Contigo.
What does that mean?
Problem with you.
That's my problem with me.
It's a problem with you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I admit to it. I mean, it is. It comes.
No problema contigo.
No problema contigo. That's not, I wish that's one language that's on my bucket list somewhere. Like it's French and Spanish. My native tongue. French. You don't want no French? You're not feeling French?
Fuck France. I ain't never been to France, Germany.
You never been to France?
No.
Or Germany?
Nope. I wasn't in the army.
Oh, okay.
Marines, they send Pacific.
Oh yeah, because like you're mostly working with the waters and everything like that. So it's just like, you know.
Only time I went to the Mediterranean was aboard a naval ship out of Marine Corps Station New River, North Carolina. Before our helicopters out to the ship, which is anchored off the coast of North Carolina. About 10 miles off the coast, we had to fly our helicopters out there to board the ship, and then we would sail for the East Mediterranean, out near Beirut.
Well, it's cool, man. It's just like I have a whole list of places I'm definitely trying to see if I can find. Maybe I can take like a week out of a month to just go visit or whatever.
Fine honeys in Italy too, bro.
Oh no, I bet.
Spain too.
Spain too, yeah, for sure.
Spain too.
Spain. You're mostly like, I guess your preference, you're mostly drawn to more Hispanic or Spanish type of.
Yeah, I've always liked them pretty golden skinned women, man.
I mean,
Filipinos too, man. The Filipino honeys, they sweet as pie, man.
Well, yeah, I bet like Cambodians too, like they're beautiful also.
I ain't never met a Cambodian,
but you know they're beautiful though, like for sure.
I like them Filipinos though.
Oh, I bet.
Fine women in the Philippines, bro.
That's one of the main reasons why I'm trying to travel for sure, man. It's just like trying to hit up like Middle Eastern Johns too. That'd be pretty nice. Middle Eastern women too. Like if they take the robes and stuff off, you know.
But now bras is bad too now. Oh yeah.
I ever been like to Hawaii? I know you've been to Hawaii since like like all the time for sure. I mean,
Hawaii's nice.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's also on my bucket list too. I don't know how many times I'm gonna travel this year and everything, because I have to relocate to Washington D.C. I don't know if it's gonna be in February or whenever and everything, but it's just like, you know, it depends if the lawyers in that area can provide me with like limited driving privileges and stuff. I mean, it's gonna be a bitch.
You'll be all right.
But it'll be whatever. Like, you know, I'll get past it, whatever.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You know, as long as I can get my driving stuff back before homecoming, like, and when I go to Howard, like, definitely, because I definitely want to make it to Howard's homecoming and make it to North Carolina Central's homecoming, because I know for sure it's gonna be popping. So it's just like, you know, gonna be.
Get the lights back. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, it'll be like in October though, but it's no big deal. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like I'm kind of over it now. I'm just kind of focused on trying to relocate so I can start working. And I'm tired of being in the house all day, man. You know, it's just kind of tired. You know, it's just like trying to ask people to just go, hey, can you go get this for me and everything? It's like, oh no, it's just like, man. Because if it was me, it would have been like, yeah, sure.
Go get stuff for them.
I would be the one to be getting stuff for people. I wouldn't mind it, but it's just like sometimes like you can't drive though. So it's just like, you know, the moment I drive,
you do that.
What's up?
Who's asking you to do that?
Dude, oh, no one's asking me to do that. I'm asking them. And it's just me, like, it's just like, hey, man, you know my situation, especially with my brother, but he's not here for some reason. But it is what it is. But I know he's been speaking a lot about the wars and then talking about women and stuff of that nature. I want to hear, like, kind of pick your brain out in just regards to like how you feel about that things are going in this generation. Like, how do you see like where our generation is going? Like, Mr. Knox, if you wouldn't like help to elaborate.
There's still a lot of ignorance in the world. You see it sometimes when it raises its ugly head. You don't always pick it out of the crowd because it's always ugly. It's going to be disrespectful and demeaning. And I hate to see people act like that. I hate to see people that do that kind of thing. But I guess, there's a lot of people out here who are uneducated. I mean, it just seems that way to me. I mean, I think if people knew more about their history and themselves, they would afford a proper respect to other individuals, no matter their age, their color, whether they're male or female, and so have you. I mean, but still got a lot of ignorance in the world.
Well, yeah, ain't no mistaking about that. Hey, those ignorance back then too. It just takes a different form every generation.
Yeah, that's right.
For sure, but it's just like, I feel like, especially when it comes to like mental illness, you're somebody that has like with PTSD. I got PTSD and depression and anxiety and everything, but I've never put myself in a position where I'd ever want to take pills and stuff of that nature to try to numb out the pain, because that's like some opioids and stuff. These people are basically crackheads, but they don't even realize that.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is your stance in regards to drug use in our like generation, in regards to like having to deal with our inner turmoils, in regards to like how you deal with your inner turmoils and stuff of that nature?
Well, I don't see anything wrong with marijuana because God created marijuana. It's a plant, and it grows naturally. God planted marijuana. He created marijuana. It's like he created the trees and the grass and everything green that you see in this world. And he made it for a reason. It's medicinal. Mm-hmm. And I use it. It calms me down. Weed calms me down. It's never made me go out and want to kill somebody or made me want to do violence to any person. Weed has a calming effect on me. And it mellows me out, and I think it's good for my health. I don't know how many people my age smoke weed, but I know I smoke it. There's plenty of it. Shit, that's what I do. I smoke weed.
At least
and it keeps me relaxed, and I'm good to go.
At least it's keeping you relaxed. At least it's helping with you. At least you're a testament. You're a guy that actually fought for this country to be like, okay, dude, it's not a big deal. You're a person that actually taking lives, and you're saying that it's not a big deal.
No, it's not.
I feel like, taking stuff like Ritalin, what they try to force on children, is way worse because that like ruins your brain chemistry.
Oh yeah. People use cocaine and crack. That stuff is that's poison.
Still comes from a plant.
Using heroin and taking that damn fentanyl and shit. That's garbage. That stuff will kill you. It will take you out of here. There's nothing as natural as a weed. Weed is natural.
Yeah, it's not concentrated or nothing. No. Even if it were to be concentrated, it wouldn't do anything but just get you higher.
All you're going to do is go to sleep. You're going to try to eat up every damn thing in the refrigerator.
Or be horny as hell.
You're going to go to fuck to sleep. That's the only thing you're going to do.
Literally and everything. That's one of the weirdest drugs to outlaw because it's not even really a drug. It's like a supplement to life when you think about it. Like tea or something like that.
I don't know why the United States government outlawed marijuana back in the 1930s. They put marijuana on the same schedule as heroin. Mm-hmm. It's classified as a class 1 drug, narcotic.
I think because it's more like for business reasons, because like cannabis could be used to make clothes, make textiles, make paper,
A lot of them thought that
it was making white women sleep with jazz singers.
Weed was a stepping stone. They figured that most of your hearing people started smoking weed first before they switched to heroin or cocaine. When that wasn't enough, they switched to heroin. See, they thought marijuana was a stepping stone drug. It caused people to do other things and go on to bigger and badder drugs. It's not the case at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, heck, I ain't never been tempted to do anything outside of weed. I just don't really see the point. And I don't even like smoke weed like that, honestly, because it's like I'd rather be in an area where it's actually legalized, so you can be just do freely however, and so they could be able to like better like manage like how much.
You can't smoke it anywhere you want to smoke it around here.
Yeah.
You do that, you're gonna go to jail. Somebody gonna see, they gonna call the police. You're gonna be arrested.
Yeah.
And you're going to jail. Can't nobody tell me what I can do in my own damn house.
Oh no, most definitely, because like
fuck I want to do in my own damn house.
In your own damn house, but it's just like, just with all like the whole health benefits it has for stress and just like depression. I mean, I would say like nowadays it makes
a lot of people don't realize that marijuana has a therapeutic effect on people. Yeah. I mean, as far as depression and PTSD and all that kind of stuff, it has a calming effect on me. I can say that it does for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but it does for me. It has a calming effect on me. It makes me, want to sit still and
just kind of chill out,
listen to my music or
ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
My book, whatever I'm doing at the time.
It's different for me, man. In the beginning, though, I used to enjoy it. Like, it's just like, oh, wow, this is fun. And then now it's just like, the older you get, you would make a whole lot of mistakes and everything. Then it just puts you in a headspace where you're just depressed. You keep thinking back in the past. And like, sometimes it just affects people differently. I miss the time where it used to be just like, oh, yeah, this is like just a good thing and everything. I guess it just depends on where your headspace is sometimes, it's just like, once I start mellowing out.
I've never had a problem with it. I mean,
You never had a problem?
No. I don't think a lot of weird shit like that.
Well, I mean, some people it's just different. I know like there are other people that have that same problem and everything, and I just like I don't know. Maybe it's just this generation.
Weed makes some people panicky too.
Yeah, it makes people just anxious and start thinking back on
that too.
Yeah, it just makes them think back on the past.
Make me anxious.
I guess it's just like it is what it is. That's why I want to go to an area where it's like legal. So it's like you can't be anxious where it's legal. It's just like okay, like what are they gonna do to me now?
It's legal in my own home, damn it, shit. I'll pay the cost to be the boss here.
No, for real though.
Paying the bills in here, but me.
No,
Police,
for real.
Nobody else. County sheriff, ain't nobody paying my bills for me.
No, for real though.
But it's just like
fuck
I want to do.
That's why I feel like this is all just economic, man. It's all economic. They used to push this whole stigma that it's just like marijuana used to make white women sleep with like jazz singers and everything.
I remember that.
And it's like that's just kind of lame, and it's just like like just for this, like because it would attack so many different businesses. You can make oil out of it. It's a good medicinal wise. So you won't have to take pills for like mental health and anything. It would make clothes or make plastic.
Anxiety.
It can make plastic too. So if you make plastic, it makes it more biodegradable. So it's like it wouldn't even pollute.
You use hemp to make ropes and stuff.
Make ropes.
They make ship's ropes out of hemp. They still grow hemp to make ship's ropes.
Ain't it a lot stronger and everything?
The dock. Hell yes, it's a hell of a lot stronger than regular whatever you want to make rope out of, cotton or whatever, twine or whatever you fucking gonna use.
Yeah, man, and it's just like there's just so many benefits, I could see a day where maybe all this could change and they could actually double down at actually using marijuana, and then we can be able to have to fight all the crisis of people trying to lace it and everything. People trying to maybe they do more legal vendors and everything across the country. You make some money.
People I get my weed from. I know I'm just getting pure weed. I'm not getting ain't no additives in there, no shit like that. I don't even want no shit like that. I wouldn't even buy no shit like that, first of all.
Yeah, no, really, though.
Nothing in my weed but weed. Just weed. That's all I want.
I don't even try to get it from strangers or nothing.
They know what to sell me. If shit don't smell right, don't look right, I'm not buying it. Sorry, bro.
Oh, no. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's your money, man. You got to do what you got to do with it. It's like I know I've been speaking about a whole... about close to an hour, and so I guess we need to start pretty much closing in for the next 6 minutes and everything. So it's but to wrap things up for the last subject matter and everything, what is some life advice you give to people in my generation? It could be young black men, and just in general, just how to survive in America, and just how to just get through everything. What words of advice would you give to the younger generation?
I would say study Black history. Learn as much Black history as you possibly can, and also learn the history of the United States with a focus toward your people. It's good for you to know the struggle that we came from. Because if you don't know your past, I've heard it said by numerous scholars that if you don't know your past, you have to repeat it. Yeah,
Most definitely.
yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely.
And I say be respectful to your elders. And if you don't know a question, the answer to a question, it doesn't hurt to ask. Ask someone. And hopefully you'll ask the right someone who'll share the good news, the answer that you're seeking. Yeah, but if you can't find it from people, you can go to your public library and check out the book. And sit down and read it for yourself.
Oh yeah, sure. Exactly.
That's the best way to learn.
Libraries aren't bad to go to,
No,
by the way,
they
too.
aren't.
I ain't been there in a brick though. I'm reading this book right now called Taking the Stairs and everything. Just basically what you do is just kind of get yourself prepared for life and organize it if you want to get your goals done. I'm trying to think. My next book I'm thinking about purchasing is on Amazon. It's like, well, I think it's like Think Rich and Then Grow, something like that. That's the next book I'm really trying to get on, because it's like one of the things I really want to really adapt the mindset of this year. I want to get more into an entrepreneurial phase. You know, I'm doing this podcast too. I'm thinking about trying to do 100 episodes. I'm trying to do 50 songs this year. Once I get the money and funding to do so and everything, I'm still need to write my first song for my next project. Writer's block has me going crazy.
Don't try to do anything.
Yeah, you just gotta do it.
Make your plan. Sit down. Think about when you're going to start on it. Once you start on it, you do it. You go full bore ahead until it's completed. You see the finished work at the end.
Yeah, man.
That's what you do.
I had that whole mindset last year.
Damn thing.
Had that whole mindset, everything. Like, I even had to take off school. Like, I was still doing school online and everything. But I still had to take off school because I'm like, I ain't never going to come back until I get this project done. And I was able to get it done, although it took a while and everything, because I had to get inspired and everything, you know, try to really get your points out there without it being like taken back to the back and everything. But my next project, sincerely, is mostly just going to be focused on like just a letter to myself, basically, on my future self and everything. You know, I'm still in the transitional phase. I thought I'd have everything figured out by now, but it's like I'm still trying to get things figured out, you know, where I'm going.
That's okay.
You know, it's just like this
You got
whole...
plenty of time.
Yeah, and it's just a note to my future self. It's just like just my anxiety. It's just things I'm kind of dealing with at this moment. You know, what if I, you know, like what I'm trying to really overcome, the obstacles I'm trying to overcome internally and externally in order to make my goals and everything. And it's just like, you know, it's just stuff like that. And it's also going to be followed two mini projects. One's going to be an Ocean View, which is really just going to be mostly just focused on just more of like a... Like, it's kind of like it's an introduction to a persona that I'm trying to introduce called a Tony Forsetti, which is going to be a persona, which is going to be just a reflection of just everything I want to be. Like, as an individual, like more confident, more cunning, more money in my pocket, stuff of that nature, and more spontaneous in everything I do. I feel like that would be my more ideal self.
Really added to you.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just put one foot in front of the other one. And just accomplish what you can every day towards your goal. Just take little bites, small bites out of it. Don't try to eat the whole cake in one sitting, you know. Save some for later.
Save some for later. I know my project after that is going to be called It Is What It Is, which is going to be like a transition, which is actually like a little mini project that's going to lead to my next major project called Whatever, which is going to be more focused on the whole mentality of just trying to, like, you know, trying to balance day-to-day life and everything in one stage, and then the next stage you get an epiphany of just like, you know, I don't have to live like this. I don't have to take the life that they given to me.
That's right.
You know, whatever things happen in the past, it's not a reflection of who I am or my future.
No.
And it's not. And it's just like, you know, and then the final part of that is just going to be represented just me taking my energy back and just, you know, focusing on just really just reestablishing myself and my place in the world and everything. And really just all, like how you said, just taking that first step. Just being yourself. Yeah, and that's what I really like about, like, just expressing yourself through music. It's just like, you know, It's just I always have like a vision of like how I want to be expressed and the points that I want to make and stuff of that nature. So it's just
You
like,
make a lot of good sense, bro. You really do.
yeah, I just want to try to put the stuff out there, but it's just it all comes from me, and I always feel like the doubts like maybe I'm getting too old. I'm 23, I'm going
No.
24, and everything.
You're still quite young, believe it or not.
Tupac and Biggie had a whole lot of stuff done like around this age, and I only dropped like 12 songs. So me just still trying, like this self doubt is there. But once you start building a better mindset and just better self talk and everything, you manage to really just get these things in the way. I got somebody that works in a studio in Charlotte. The plan is gonna be I'm just gonna go to Virginia and everything, make as much money as I can, knock out all the stuff I gotta knock out. Once I got all my next projects written, I'm gonna come back to Charlotte. My brother's gonna drive me to the studio. Maybe might hop on a song too. He's doing music also. Everyone wants to do music. I don't know what it is. He's doing pretty good. I guess he just got it from me. I don't know. He's doing a lot better than a lot of those other kids I went with in high
Saw him
school.
out there pop locking one day, man. I said, "You go, boy." Yeah, you out there getting it too, man.
Yeah, it's just I like to hope I'm probably.
Smooth too, man.
Oh yeah, just so we try to hope I'm probably a good rapper. But I want to thank you again, Mr. Mike Knox, for having me over. I feel like you touched on a whole lot of things.
Move around a little bit, starting to get stiff.
Oh no, I'm same. I'm trying to get all the blood in my legs and everything. But it's like I want to say thank you again. If you got any final words, you're free to say so.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Okay,
It's been my pleasure. Yeah, hope I answered all your questions satisfactorily.
Oh no, you've said a whole lot. I feel like you put a whole lot of perspective out there for the younger generations and also people who don't understand about the Marine Corps and just life of that nature. I feel like you touched on
all men who join the Marine Corps and all women who join the Marine Corps don't die. You all some get to come home like me,
and just get to live full lives
Get
and
to
everything.
live your life.
Most definitely.
Everybody doesn't get killed in combat or in wars.
Yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely they do not.
And we're signing off this episode. This is a Mental Threads podcast. This is Toasty and Gunnery Sergeant Michael Knox signing out. That is it.